So Amidst Dreams of Tomorrow is an international band. It's the three of us, and we're all Portuguese, but we're in different countries. So one is in Portugal, one is in Ireland, the other one is in the UK. We got together, was me and Christian. We got together in 2020 for this project. We'd been working on something else for like 4 years, and I think we have one full song, which is one full song and probably like 25 million demos and riffs and tiny things. And then we decided that nothing's happening, and I grabbed an old song from the war chest that I'd been writing since 2012, and I could never get past the 1 minute 50 seconds of that song. And one day I'm just playing the guitar and I'm like, okay, what if I did this? What if I did that? And that thing. Within a couple of days we had the first song, and then they all just came, like, super quick. And like, before we knew it, we had 6 songs for the EP. It was within probably 2 months. We had 6 full songs for the EP. We ended up keeping one for the album, which has been slightly tweaked. And the other 5 have already been released. And then in 2021, our friend Correon joined us, and it's been a hell of a journey, having so much stuff done in 2 years. We have the utmost sympathy for the people in Ukraine that have been affected by the war, as well as others, of course, that may have been affected elsewhere.
So for us, it's both a feeling where you remember and yearn your lifelong goals and aspirations without knowing if they will ever materialize. And also it's that realization that it's an ongoing process and you're still working on them for them to come to fruition. Additionally, when you do work on them, it grants you a strength, something that keeps you going and going, and you don't want to give up. And there's also the crimson fire burning your blood and pushing you to accomplish your dreams, which is, pretty much every entertainment industry performer, artist's fuel. So that's it, I think. So Memories of a Wandering Soul is our album, and it's a concept that tells the tale of a soul going through limbo. And in this limbo, this soul is going through different stages of remembrances, or from melancholic to uplifting scenes or sounds, before finally being able to move on to the other side. And that's all kind of reflected in the album. There's this inherent struggle that this soul goes through that the listener should be able to identify while listening to the album and the songs. And they do have different soundscapes and different genres. So I think that's what the soul of the album is.
We try to conceptualize the cover art for the album with the songs being played, while not outright dark or crestfallen. The cover conveys what we believe is the sense of introspection, of thinking about the past and the future, where we've been and where we're going. It tries to paint a picture of the soul where we're talking about throughout its journey in limbo. It's an interesting story. We actually tried to find someone to add vocals or vocal lines to our songs before our EP was released. However, we are not successful in doing so. So we kind of end up reworking our songs to fit the instrumental theme and let the instrumentals tell the story you want to tell. It then became our style, and we don't have intention of changing it.
I don't think it's that important to have a record deal, but it helps. definitely helps. Since we've started this project, we've been investing more and more time and money and patience and a lot of things to ensure we're getting to our audience. It's a lot of work, and having a label would help us to achieve those goals, because we wouldn't have to be worried about half of the stuff we're worried about. However, there's also the independence factor, where you're pretty much your own producer and marketer versus when having a label. So you end up having to give some to take some. If you want a label, you also give away some of that independence to do what the hell you want. We do whatever videos we want, release how many songs we want, when we want, pay or not for marketing. So ultimately, I guess it depends where you want to go with your project and what your goals are.
I started this journey by the age of 14, 15 as a black death metal vocalist. Throughout the years, I've been in a few projects that never left the garage, and for that reason and other reasons, I found myself in need of learning how to compose by myself. This has been a long and still infinite journey, where I constantly learn new things and improve my skills. But I never imagined myself as a songwriter, because I had this idea of being a vocalist and a lyricist. I loved watching concert videos, and then I started going to local concerts by myself, and it was dazzling to me. By 2018 was when I really dig into the creative process of composing and playing the piano. I'd also I'd li- I'd also like to thank four friends for teaching me what I know today, and for that tremendous patience in putting up with me. Melkor, Danielle, Dodd, Corian, of course. And the reason I started was for the love of music, which is a way to express ideas, feelings, ideologies, and because music is necessarily needed in our lives. A silent world is a dead world.
I'll take next. So I started my love for music very young. My grandfather used to play me pretty much the greatest hits of the 60s. Doors, Led Zeppelin, amongst others, Rolling Stones, not Beatles, he doesn't like them, and some Portuguese music as well. And then throughout the years, I think I listened to my first metal album probably when I was 12, 13. Sorry. It was Saint Anger, I think. And then since then, it's been the long journey throughout music. I got my first instrument at 18. I was begging to get a bass. Then I got guitar, and then another guitar, and then new bass, and then it took off from there. So it's been an interesting journey. I've been in punk bands as a vocalist. I've been in punk bands as a bass player. I've been in metal bands as a vocalist, as a bass player, as a guitar player. I think the only thing I haven't played is drums in a band. So yeah, some concerts in the middle. So it's been an interesting journey, but now since we're all apart, we kind of get together online and record our songs, which I think it's a different take on the challenge in this journey. It's definitely a different take because you don't have that studio rehearsal thing where everybody's together and you say crap every 3 seconds, and then you're trying to tune your strings and your drummer doesn't stop playing. I'm not salty about drummers. That's why we don't have one. Anyway, yeah, that's my journey throughout metal.
So I guess that's my turn now. I'm Korean. I got into music through my sister. She heard a lot of Arctic Monkeys and some more different tunes I was not particularly fond of, but that side of the rock got my attention. And as the years moved on, I heard a bit about Metallica, I heard about System of a Down, and eventually, by the time I got into uni, I met a friend who had an electric guitar. And one day he was like, "Hey, dude, if you want to try it out, come over and I'll show you." And so I did. And, it's one thing to see, people play the guitar. Another thing is when you hold the instrument. And it was a moment of realization of when there's something missing in your life and you just found it. And that was it. I eventually started saving some money and eventually got my first guitar, a Dean Vendetta 1.0, I believe. And there my journey started. So I think we'd love to see an industry that's more benevolent and forgiving towards more non-mainstream artists and allows them a place to show their talents. It's pretty much that. That's what we would love to see.
New films that impressed me. I would say Prey, The Batman, the new Spider-Man, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Malignant, and probably the last few films of Rurouni and Kenshin saga. In terms of cinematic music, I love the soundtrack of Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Dune. In terms of metal music, I would say Septic Flesh, Modern Primitive, Behemoth, Opus Contra Nostrum, Bleed from a Dream Shrine, and at the moment I can remember anything else. I haven't heard any new music besides those mentioned.
That's a very good question, because I don't usually watch new movies. I'll start with movies. So recently, it's gonna sound bad, but it's Prey, The Batman, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I would like to add, though, a movie called Moonshot. It's really cool. I would recommend. It's kind of a teenage story, but cool anyway. In terms of music, I would say Ghosts Impera is a very good album. Sabaton, The War to End All Wars. The new Volbeat album has some interesting tunes there. And there's this band called Black Seed. And their music, I hope I'm not saying something wrong, but if I am, it's gonna be on the internet forever. Their music, or their latest album, Fair Plane of Memories, is based off of video game music, but rearranged in a metal kind of Kabadan brood context. It's really cool, so I'd recommend listening to them. And then the most recent one would be Monamarth, the Great Ethan Army. It's just Monamarth is Monamarth. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can think of.
Right. Yes, it is an interesting question. But the truth is, I don't really keep up with the latest movies. There have been a few that I have actually enjoyed, but I think maybe the Joker was the one that really, surprised me. I was not expecting the story to be as impactful as it was. Apart from that, regarding music, I'm always looking out for things I personally haven't heard of. But some of my recent discoveries for me include Bloodywood, All Them Witches, and Hypocrisy. Those have been the most recent ones. I think they're very interesting bands, and I recommend them all.
So right now, we're just really focused and excited about the album. We're releasing on the 19th of August. Our second single just came out. We're actually impressed.
It's coming.
We were actually impressed that it got a lot of views for our standards. Actually, it's our most viewed video within 2 or 3 days of being released, which is insane because we've had our channel for over a year. So we're very, very focused and excited for that. And then in the future, what the future holds, we're actually already working on new music. We have a bunch of stuff, both that came from the memories sessions, from before those sessions, from before those sessions, and also new stuff we just came up with on the spot. We're very happy with what we're bringing to the table. It's a new twist to our music and to our sound. And while some people, the 5 or 10 people that actually listen to us, while some people may be asking...
Our moms and family.
Exactly. Some people may be asking or thinking, when is it coming out? When are you going to release more stuff after the album? We don't work on timelines, which is, taking back to the question about labels, a good thing. We don't work on timelines. You may see that music in a year's time, 10 years time, never. But we're just focused on writing and making sure it's to our standard and beyond. So I'd like to thank Antichrist magazine for this invite. It's been a pleasure, and hope the YouTube subscribers enjoy the video, and of course check out our band. I think you'll enjoy it. Hopefully you will. Please. Have a nice one.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.